again, everyone. For the next item, shall we continue? Okay na po, ano?
Yeah,
So for the yes, Mr. Chair. So for the next item for the pre-bid conference, we have project entitled Quarterly Preventive Maintenance of Building Management System or BMS and other auxiliary devices at Manila CNS ATM facility for 1 year. Bid number 23-009-04 with an ABC of 4,847,088 pesos under ANS project. So may we call on now the from ANS? Sir
Yes,
Norik, please.
yes, Backsec, good morning. Before we start the presentation, may we invite the prospective bidders to join the conference? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Back Secretariat, kindly admit po yung online bidder natin, if any. Okay, sir. Okay. Hello, good morning, bidders.
good morning po.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Sir, can kindly state your name po and the company you represent? Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Mark Reyes from Delta Max Technology Inc. po.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir Norik, please.
Yes, I think there's one more company that was posted in the chat box earlier. There's ICC, and we have
Okay. Okay, so one moment lang, sir. We'll check again. So far, sir, wala po sa online. Baka po. We will verify again, sir, but so far, nawala yata, sir, sa online.
Through the chair. Go ahead. The other prospective bidder is PM Joben 0506 at gmail.com. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Did you copy that, Secretariat?
Yes, sir. We'll verify, sir. Ulit po sa online. One moment
All
lang.
right.
Again, good morning. Be the representative from ICC, sir. Are you already online?
Yes, ma'am, I'm online.
Yes, sir. Good morning po. Kindly state your name,
Morning.
sir, and the company you represent, sir.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Philip Marvin Hovel. I'm the Vice President for Engineering in Industrial Controls Corporation.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, prospective bidders. We are now on the pre-bid conference for the quarterly preventive maintenance of building management system and other auxiliary devices at Manila CNS ATM facilities for 1 year with bid number 23-009-04 with an ABC of 4,847,088 pesos and ANS project. End user, the floor is yours.
Yeah. John, I'll be the one to present. So,
Sir.
once again, welcome, prospective bidders, for joining us in this pre-bid conference for this project. Now, for the outline of our presentation, the project background and duration, invitation to bid, the instruction to bidders, and corresponding BDS, the GCC with corresponding SCC checklists will all be part of this presentation. And later on the last part of the presentation, we'll be opening the floor for any clarification you wish to have, no, before we conclude the pre-bid conference. For the project background and duration, provide a third-party maintenance provider with appropriate expertise for the preventive or corrective maintenance of our uh, building maintenance system and other auxiliary systems at Manila ATMC facility. The scope of the project includes quarterly preventive maintenance checkup, cleaning, and filing of maintenance service reports and recommended action plan. It will also include adjustment, calibration, parts replacement, and minor corrective maintenance works whenever it is necessary. The maintenance provider should also provide a 24/7 online support and on-site visit within 24 hours whenever an emergency trouble related to these systems occur. So all spare parts will be provided or procured by CAAP. So the table shows the lot numbers with the corresponding subsystem description and the corresponding number of devices in each subsystems. The project duration is 365 calendar days. The first quarterly preventive maintenance must be completed within the 90 calendar days. Starting off with the invitation to bid, the CAAP through CAAP Corporate Operating Budget fiscal year 2023 intends to apply the sum of uh, 4,847,088 pesos for the whole lot of the project, being the ABC2 payments under the contract for each lot or item. Bids received in excess of the ABC for each lot shall be automatically rejected at bid opening. CAAP now invites bids for the above or for this project. Delivery of the service or services is required quarterly for a period of 1 year. Bidders should have completed within 5 years from the date of submission and receipt of bids a contract similar to the project. The description of an eligible bidder is contained in the bidding documents, particularly in Section 2 of the ITB. Bidding will be conducted through an open competitive bidding procedures using a non-discretionary pass-fail criterion as specified in the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. So bidding is restricted to Filipino citizens, sole proprietorships, partnerships, or organizations with at least 60% interest or outstanding capital stock belonging to citizens of the Philippines and to citizens or organizations of a country, the laws or regulations of which grant similar rights or privileges to Filipino citizens pursuant to RA 5183. Prospective bidders may obtain further information from BACSEC of CAAP with the address Mia Road, Pasay City, and expect the bidding documents at the address given as follows in the next slide. During 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Monday to Friday, except declared holidays, weekends, and suspension of work. A complete set of bidding documents may be acquired by the interested bidders on 28th of April 2023 until deadline of submission of bid from the given address and websites as follows, and upon payment of the applicable fee for the bidding documents pursuant to the latest guidelines issued by the GPPB in the total amount of 5,600 pesos, which is inclusive of 12% VAT for all the lots or as indicated in the table below for each lot. The procuring entity shall allow the bidder to present its proof of payment for for the fees through email. Bids must be duly received by the BAC Secretariat through manual submission to the office address indicated uh, in the following slides on or before the 23rd of May 2023 at 10 a.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. All bids must be accompanied by a bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in ITB Clause 14. Bid opening shall be on the 23rd of May 2023 at 10 a.m. at the given address in the following slide or via online conference through Google Meet. Bids will be open in the presence of the bidders' representatives who choose to attend the activity. CAAP reserves the right to reject any and all bids, declare a failure of bidding, or not award the contract at any time prior to contract award in accordance with sections 35.6 and 41 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184 without thereby incurring any liability to the effective bidder or bidders. For further information, please refer to Mr. Gary MJD, the head of BAC Secretariat, CAAP, Mayor Road, Pasig City, Metro Manila, 1300. Or you may also visit the following websites for downloading the bidding documents. Now, in this part of the presentation, I will go through the bid datasheet corresponding to its ITB clause for more specific uh, requirements. Starting off with BDS clause 5.3 for the ITB clause 5.3. For this purpose, contracts similar to the project will be A, preventive maintenance, servicing of building management system, B, completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Under the subcontracts ITB clause, there is no further instructions. For the bid prices, the price of the goods shall be quoted DDP, CAP, Mayor Road Pasig, or the applicable international commercial terms, Incoterms for this project. For the bid security, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. That there aid amount of not less than 2% of the ABC of each lot if bid security is in cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit. Or B, the amount of not less than 5% of the ABC of each lot if bid security is in surety bond. For the sealing and marking of bids, each page there, thereof shall be initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Submitted eligibility, technical, and financial documents shall be properly marked with index tabs and must be sequentially paginated in accurate order. Pagination shall be sequential all throughout the documents inside the envelope. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be automatically disqualified. Number two, each bidder shall submit one copy of the first and second components of its bid. Number three, certificate of site inspection duly signed by the ANS facility in charge, Manila CNS ATM facility, or his duly authorized representative. Number four, per CAAP memorandum dated 17th of September 2018 regarding the disqualification of prospective bidders with pending case against the government in the procurement activities of CAAP, all prospective bidders will be required to submit the following. A is certification under oath attesting that they have no pending case against the government in addition to the eligibility requirements for bidders as prescribed under the revised IRR of RE 9184, and B, legal clearance to be issued by the CAAP ELS with respect to the non-pendency of any cases of prospective bidders against the authority. The slide shows a sample illustration of how the eligibility and technical requirements should be enclosed in one envelope and the financial proposal in the second envelope altogether in one single envelope. And this slide shows an example of how the table of contents would somehow look like. the use of the index tab and the pagination and the signing of each page that must be in accurate order. For BDS, clause 19.3, the table shows the corresponding lots and the corresponding ABC of each lot. For the post qualification and signing of contract, there is no further instructions. Moving on to the general conditions of the contract, in the same way as we did in running through the BDS clause corresponding to the ITB clause, we'll be going through the corresponding SEC uh, to the GCC. Under the scope of the contract, number one, quarterly preventive maintenance checkup, including, if necessary, of all auxiliary devices for 1 year period. So there is an attachment as on the list of all devices for each category, part of the bidding documents or the bid documents. Number two, 24/7 online support for 1 year period. Number three, emergency response within 24 hours during emergency trouble that requires immediate actions. Number four, include minor replacement or adjustment of spare parts. Please note that spare parts will be supplied by CAAP. Number five, include troubleshooting and minor repair job, filing of service reports, and recommended actions. Exclusions are the following. Number one, supply of spare parts. Number two, major maintenance works. Number three, upgrades and additional installations. The delivery of services shall be made by the supplier in accordance with the terms specified in Section 6, the Schedule of Requirements. For this, for purposes of this clause, the procuring entity's representative at the project site is Engineer Gilmar Ditiro, ANS Facility in Charge, Manila CNS ATM Facility. Further on the scope or under the scope of the contract, for the spare parts, the supplier is required to provide all the following materials, notifications, and information pertaining to spare parts manufactured or distributed by the supplier. Number one, such spare parts as the procuring entity may elect to purchase from the supplier, provided that this election shall not be relieved or shall not relieve the supplier of any warranty obligations under this contract. And number two, in the event of termination of production of these spare parts, advance notification to the procuring entity of the pending termination in sufficient time to permit the procuring entity to procure needed requirements, and following such termination, furnishing at no cost to the procuring entity the blueprints, drawings, and specifications of the spare parts if requested. The spare parts and other components required are listed in Section 6 of the Schedule of Requirements, and the costs thereof are included in the contract price. The supplier shall carry sufficient inventories to assure X stock supply of consumable spare parts or components for the goods for a period as indicated here, for the period as indicated in the requirements. Spare parts or components shall also be supplied as promptly as possible, but in any case, within the period as indicated in the requirement. Further requirements are also specified for the intellectual property rights. And then moving on to special condition, clause 2.2. The terms of payment shall be as follows: quarterly billing after the completion of the preventive maintenance services. For the inspection and tests, there is no further instruction. And that's all about the SEC corresponding to GCCs. For the checklist, for the technical component envelope, for Class A documents, for the legal documents, a valid PhilJEPS registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages in accordance with Section 5, or rather Section 852 of the IRR. For the technical documents, letter B, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And C, statement of bidders SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in sections 23413 and 23424 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. Within The relevant period is provided in the bidding documents. And D, original copy of bid security, if in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of the notarized bid security declaration. And E, conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production, delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or actual parts if applicable. And F, originally or original, duly signed OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the JV giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. And G, legal clearance to be issued by the CAAP ALS with respect to the non-pendency of any case of prospective bidders against the authority. And H, certification under oath testing that they have no pending case against the government, in addition to the eligibility requirements for bidders as prescribed under the revised IRR of RA 9184. And I, copy of bid bulletins, if applicable, and J, certificate of site inspection duly signed by the ANS facility in charge of Manila's ANS 18 facility or his authorized representative. For the financial documents, letter K, the prospective bidder's computation of NFCC or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. And for the Class B documents, if applicable, a duly signed JVA in case the JV is already in existence or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. For the financial component envelope, original of duly signed accomplished financial bid form and original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules. Other documentary requirements under RA 9184 as applicable is also required as listed in letter O and P. With that, the floor is now open, Mr. Chair, for any clarification or prospective bidder we have about this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, prospective bidder, do you have any question or clarification? Is the bidder online? Secretariat?
Hi sir, good morning. Mark here from Delta Max po.
Okay, sir, do you have any question?
So i-clarify ko lang po yung nabanggit kanina regarding dun sa site inspection certificate. Kailangan po ba kaming mag site inspect para makapagpapirma sa representative ninyo and to certify na nagpunta kami sa site para makasali sa bidding?
Yes, Mr. Reyes. Site inspection is part of the requirement and physical or in-person site visit is required for you to be able to acquire that inspection certificate.
Okay sir, thank you po.
That's it? Any other question? Okay, if there is none, okay, Secretariat, please proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Back Secretary, could you please remove the prospective bidders for our meeting? Okay. Next